Chapter 21. The Great Purge. Soul City had always been a place of beauty and tranquility, an ethereal haven where spirits found peace and purpose. However, lately, a dark cloud had settled over the city. Reports of malevolent spirits causing chaos and fear were increasing, and the delicate balance of the afterlife was at risk. Jack Harper, now a seasoned Soul Reaper, felt the growing menace keenly. One morning, while Jack was reviewing recent reports in the Reaper's headquarters, a spectral messenger appeared, summoning him to an emergency council meeting. The Reaper's Council, composed of the most experienced and respected Reapers, had convened to address the escalating situation. Jack made his way to the Grand Council chamber, his mind racing with thoughts of the impending crisis. The chamber, with its high vaulted ceilings and walls lined with ancient tapestries, exuded an air of solemnity and importance. The council members were already seated around a large, round table, their expressions grave. Thanatos, the head of the council and Jack's mentor, rose to speak as Jack took his seat. "Thank you all for coming on such short notice," Thanatos began, his voice resonating with authority. "We are facing an unprecedented rise in malevolent spirit activity. The balance of Soul City is in jeopardy, and we must take decisive action to restore order." The council members nodded in agreement, their faces reflecting the seriousness of the situation. Jack felt a surge of determination, knowing that this was a pivotal moment in his journey as a Reaper. Thanatos continued, outlining the plan for what they were calling the Great Purge. "We will organize into teams, each tasked with cleansing specific areas of Soul City of malevolent spirits and wraiths. This effort will require coordination, strategy, and the full extent of our skills and knowledge." He turned to Jack, his eyes filled with trust and confidence. "Jack, you have proven yourself to be a capable and dedicated Reaper. We are assigning you to lead a team in one of the most affected areas, the Shadow District. Your mission is to cleanse the district of all malevolent entities and restore peace to its inhabitants." Jack accepted the assignment with a deep sense of responsibility. The Shadow District was known for its treacherous paths and high concentration of malevolent spirits. It would be a challenging mission, but Jack was ready to face whatever threats lay ahead. He quickly assembled a team of skilled Reapers, including Marcus, Serafina, and Alara, each bringing their unique abilities and strengths to the mission. Marcus, with his stoic demeanor and unparalleled combat skills, would be essential in facing the more aggressive spirits. Serafina, with her deep knowledge of ancient rituals and healing abilities, would help in reinforcing the protective wards. Alara, the wise and compassionate librarian, would provide invaluable guidance and support. As they prepared for the Great Purge, Jack briefed his team on the strategy and objectives. They would need to work together seamlessly, using their combined knowledge and skills to banish the malevolent spirits and reinforce the protective wards. "Remember," Jack said, addressing his team, "our goal is to cleanse the Shadow District and restore balance. Stay focused, support each other, and trust in your abilities. We can do this." With their plan in place, the team set out for the Shadow District. The journey there was filled with a tense anticipation, the air thick with the promise of the battles to come. As they entered the district, they immediately felt the oppressive atmosphere. The air was cold and heavy, and the streets were shrouded in darkness. The once vibrant and bustling district was now a place of fear and despair, with spirits hiding in the shadows, afraid to venture out. Jack led the team with determination, his scythe ready. They moved cautiously, their senses heightened to detect any sign of danger. It wasn't long before they encountered their first group of malevolent spirits near the entrance to the district. The spirits were twisted and deformed, their eyes glowing with hatred. "Stay together," Jack instructed his team. "We need to banish these spirits quickly and efficiently." The team formed a defensive circle, their scythes glowing with energy. Jack led the charge, swinging his scythe in a wide arc and creating a wave of light that struck the malevolent spirits. The spirits recoiled, hissing in fury, but the team's combined efforts soon overpowered them. One by one, the spirits were banished, their dark energy dissipating into the air. With the immediate threat neutralized, the team pressed on, their determination unwavering. They encountered more groups of malevolent spirits and wraiths, each battle testing their skills and resolve. The fights were intense and exhausting, but the team's coordination and unity allowed them to overcome each challenge. As they delved deeper into the Shadow District, Jack felt a growing sense of unease. He knew that the source of the malevolent energy was still ahead, and they would need to confront it to complete their mission. Eventually, they reached the heart of the district, where the malevolent energy was strongest. There, they found a powerful wraith, its form massive and menacing, surrounded by a swarm of lesser spirits. The wraith's eyes glowed with a fiery intensity, and its presence radiated pure malevolence. "This is it," Jack said, his voice steady. "This is the source of the darkness. We need to banish the wraith to restore balance." The team prepared for their most challenging battle yet. They formed a tight formation, their scythes raised and ready. The wraith let out a deafening roar and lunged at them with terrifying speed. The battle that ensued was fierce and relentless, the wraith's attacks powerful and relentless. Jack and his team fought with everything they had, their movements precise and coordinated. They used their knowledge of ancient rituals and symbols to weaken the wraith, channeling their energy through their scythes to create powerful waves of light. The lesser spirits were banished one by one, but the wraith remained a formidable opponent. As the battle raged on, Jack felt a surge of determination. He knew that they could not fail. The balance of Soul City depended on their success. With a final, powerful strike, Jack channeled all his energy through his scythe, creating a blinding burst of light that struck the wraith. The wraith let out a final, agonized scream before disintegrating into nothingness. The oppressive darkness that had enveloped the Shadow District began to lift. The air grew lighter and the malevolent energy dissipated. The spirits that had been hiding slowly emerged, their expressions filled with relief and gratitude. "We did it," Jack said, his voice filled with exhaustion and triumph. "The Shadow District is cleansed." The team took a moment to catch their breath and assess their surroundings. They had accomplished their mission, but they knew that their work was not yet done. They needed to reinforce the protective wards to ensure that the district remained safe. With the immediate threat neutralized, the team worked together to restore the wards. They used the rituals and symbols described in the ancient texts, their combined efforts creating a network of protective barriers that would keep malevolent spirits at bay. As the sun began to rise over Soul City, casting a warm glow over the Shadow District, Jack and his team felt a deep sense of accomplishment. They had faced a formidable threat and emerged victorious, restoring balance and peace to the district. Jack Harper and his team had successfully cleansed the entrance and outer areas of the Shadow District, but they knew the heart of the district still pulsed with a dark, malevolent energy. As they ventured deeper, the oppressive atmosphere intensified. The air was thick with a cold, unrelenting presence, and the streets grew narrower and more labyrinthine, as if trying to ensnare them. "Stay close," Jack said, his voice steady but firm. "We're nearing the source of the malevolent energy. This is where it will be most dangerous." The team moved cautiously, their senses heightened and their scythes at the ready. Each step they took was accompanied by the distant whispers of tormented souls and the unsettling feeling of being watched. The shadows seemed to move of their own accord, flickering and shifting as if alive. As they rounded a corner, they found themselves in a wide, open square. In the center stood a dilapidated fountain, its once beautiful statues now twisted and grotesque. The air around the fountain crackled with dark energy, and Jack knew they had reached the heart of the district. Suddenly, a deafening roar echoed through the square, and a massive wraith emerged from the shadows. Its form was monstrous, its eyes glowing with a fiery intensity. Surrounding it were dozens of lesser spirits, their forms twisted and writhing in agony. "This is it," Jack said, gripping his scythe tightly. "We need to banish the wraith and its minions to restore balance." The wraith lunged at them with terrifying speed, its claws extended and its eyes blazing with fury. Jack and his team scattered, narrowly avoiding the wraith's initial attack. The battle that ensued was fierce and relentless, with the wraith and its minions launching wave after wave of assaults. Marcus, with his powerful combat skills, took the lead in engaging the wraith directly. He swung his scythe with precision, creating bursts of light that struck the wraith and pushed it back. "Stay focused," he shouted, his voice a beacon of strength. Serafina and Alara worked together to handle the lesser spirits. Serafina used her knowledge of ancient rituals to weaken the spirits, while Alara provided support, using her healing abilities to keep the team strong and resilient. "We need to banish these spirits quickly," Serafina called out, her eyes fixed on the swarm of malevolent entities. Jack moved with purpose, his scythe glowing brightly as he channeled his energy through it. He struck at the spirits with determination, each swing of his scythe banishing another dark entity. Despite the chaos, Jack maintained a clear focus, his mind attuned to the flow of the battle. The wraith, sensing its minions being banished, let out a furious scream and intensified its attacks. It swung its massive claws at Marcus, who narrowly dodged the blow. The ground beneath them shook with the wraith's rage, but Marcus stood firm. "Jack, we need to weaken it further," Marcus shouted, his voice strained but determined. Jack nodded and gathered his energy, his scythe pulsating with light. He and Marcus moved in unison, their combined efforts creating a powerful wave of energy that struck the wraith, forcing it to recoil. The wraith's form flickered, its energy destabilizing. "We're making progress," Jack called out to his team. "Keep pushing." Serafina chanted an ancient incantation, her voice resonating with power. The air around her shimmered with light, and the remaining lesser spirits began to dissolve, their dark energy dissipating. "Just a little more," she urged, her eyes glowing with determination. With the lesser spirits banished, the team focused all their efforts on the wraith. Jack, Marcus, Serafina, and Alara moved with coordinated precision, their scythes striking in perfect harmony. The wraith let out another deafening roar, its form beginning to disintegrate under the relentless assault. In a final, desperate attempt to overpower them, the wraith summoned a surge of dark energy, its form expanding and its eyes burning brighter than ever. Jack felt the intensity of the energy and knew they had to act quickly. "Everyone, focus your energy on the wraith," Jack commanded. "We need to banish it now." The team gathered their remaining strength, their scythes glowing with an intense light. Jack led the charge, channeling all his energy into a powerful strike. The others followed suit, their combined energy creating a blinding burst of light that enveloped the wraith. The wraith let out a final, agonized scream before disintegrating into nothingness. The dark energy that had plagued the Shadow District dissipated, leaving behind a sense of calm and tranquility. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, and the air grew warmer and lighter. Jack and his team stood in the center of the square, their breaths heavy with exhaustion but their hearts filled with triumph. They had faced a formidable threat and emerged victorious, restoring balance and peace to the Shadow District. "We did it," Jack said, his voice filled with relief. "The Shadow District is cleansed." The team took a moment to catch their breath and assess their surroundings. The spirits that had been hiding began to emerge, their expressions filled with gratitude and relief. Jack could see the hope returning to their eyes, and he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. "We need to reinforce the protective wards," Serafina said, her voice steady despite her exhaustion. "We can't let this happen again." Jack nodded in agreement. "Let's get to work." Chapter 22. Reincarnation Rites. Jack Harper stood at the edge of the Reaper's courtyard, a place that exuded tranquility and sacred energy. The courtyard, with its lush, ethereal gardens and softly glowing pathways, felt like a haven amidst the often tumultuous duties of a soul reaper. Today, however, it held an even greater significance for Jack. He was about to begin his training in the reincarnation rites, an essential aspect of a reaper's duties that involved guiding souls to their next lives. Alara, the wise and compassionate librarian who had fought alongside Jack during the Great Purge, would be his mentor for this part of his journey. Her deep knowledge of the reincarnation rites and her gentle demeanor made her the perfect guide. Jack felt both eager and reverent as he approached her. "Good morning, Jack," Alara greeted him, her voice as soothing as a gentle breeze. She stood near a large, intricately carved stone circle in the center of the courtyard. "Today, we embark on a journey of understanding and compassion. The reincarnation rites are a sacred duty, ensuring that souls can continue their journey and start anew." Jack nodded, feeling the weight of the responsibility. "I'm ready, Alara. I want to learn everything I can to help these souls." Alara smiled warmly. The reincarnation rites are not just about performing rituals. They are about connecting with each soul, understanding their story, and guiding them with compassion and respect. Each soul's journey is unique, and our role is to facilitate their transition to their next life. Alara began by explaining the first step of the rites, the ritual cleansing. This step was crucial in purifying the soul and preparing it for reincarnation. She demonstrated a series of ancient incantations and the use of sacred symbols, which glowed with a soft, ethereal light as she traced them in the air. "Watch carefully and repeat after me," Alara instructed, her voice carrying a sense of both authority and kindness. Jack focused intently, his eyes following Alara's movements. She chanted an incantation in a language that seemed to resonate with the very essence of the afterlife. Jack repeated the words, feeling the power of the incantation flow through him. As he traced the symbols, he felt a connection to the ancient traditions of the Reapers, a lineage that stretched back through countless generations. The air around them shimmered with energy as they completed the ritual. Jack could feel the cleansing power, purifying the space and preparing it for the next steps. "Well done," Alara said, her eyes reflecting her approval. "Now that you understand the ritual cleansing, let's move on to the second step, listening to the soul story." Alara summoned a soul that was ready for reincarnation. A young woman named Lydia appeared, her form glowing softly with a mix of emotions. Jack felt a deep sense of empathy as he prepared to listen to her story. "Lydia, this is Jack," Alara introduced them. "He is here to help guide you through the reincarnation rites." Lydia nodded, her expression filled with both apprehension and hope. "Thank you," she said softly. "I have lived a life marked by both great love and significant loss. I lost my family in a tragic accident, but I also experienced incredible happiness with my husband. I wish to be with them again in my next life." Jack listened intently, his heart aching for Lydia's pain and joy. He offered words of comfort and understanding, drawing on the compassion that had guided him in his journey as a reaper. "Your journey has been filled with deep emotions," he said gently. "The love you experienced will guide you in your next life. It is a part of who you are." Alara added her own words of wisdom, helping Lydia find peace with her past. The process was cathartic, and Jack could see Lydia becoming more serene as they talked. The courtyard, with its tranquil atmosphere, seemed to embrace the soul, offering comfort and solace. Once Lydia had shared her story, Alara prepared for the final step, the rite of reincarnation. She instructed Jack on how to open the portal, using a combination of incantations and symbols to create a gateway between realms. "Stand with me," Alara said, guiding Jack to the center of the stone circle. "Focus your energy and remember the connection you have with the soul. We are opening a path for Lydia to continue her journey." Jack stood beside Alara, his scythe glowing softly as he channeled his energy. Together, they chanted the incantation, their voices harmonizing with the energy around them. The air shimmered, and a portal began to form, its edges glowing with a warm, inviting light. Lydia, Alara said, her voice filled with compassion, it is time for you to continue your journey. Step through the portal and embrace your new life. Lydia's form brightened, her emotions transforming into a sense of hope and anticipation. She smiled at Jack and Alara, her gratitude evident. Thank you, she said softly. Thank you for guiding me. With a final, peaceful glance, Lydia stepped through the portal, her form dissolving into the light. The portal closed behind her, leaving the courtyard filled with a sense of tranquility and fulfillment. Jack took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. He had helped Lydia transition to her next life, and the experience had left a profound impact on him. The reincarnation rites were more than just a set of rituals, they were a deeply personal and spiritual journey that connected him with the souls he guided. Every soul we guide through the reincarnation rites leaves a mark on us, Alara said, her voice gentle. Their stories become a part of our own journey. Remember this as you continue your work, Jack. Jack nodded, deeply moved by the experience. He understood now that the reincarnation rites were not just about performing rituals but about connecting with souls on a personal level, offering them compassion and understanding as they prepared for their next journey. Over the following days, Jack continued to learn and perform the reincarnation rites, each experience deepening his empathy and strengthening his resolve. He guided many souls, each with their own unique stories, and found a profound sense of purpose in helping them find peace and continue their journeys. One soul, an elderly man named Thomas, had lived a life filled with both hardship and kindness. He had been a soldier, a teacher, and a father, and his journey had been marked by moments of great sacrifice and love. Thomas shared his story with Jack, who listened with a deep sense of respect and admiration. I've seen much in my life, Thomas said, his voice filled with both sorrow and pride. But the love of my family kept me going. I wish to be reunited with them in my next life. Jack offered words of comfort and guidance, helping Thomas find peace with his past. As they performed the rite of reincarnation, Jack felt a deep connection with the soul, understanding the sacrifices and love that had shaped his journey. With each soul he guided, Jack felt his own journey as a reaper becoming more meaningful. The reincarnation rites were a sacred duty, but they were also an opportunity to connect with the souls of the departed, to offer them compassion and understanding as they prepared for their next life. As Jack stood in the reincarnation chamber, ready to guide another soul, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The Great Purge had shown him the importance of protecting and restoring balance, but the reincarnation rites had revealed the profound beauty of guiding souls with compassion and understanding. Jack Harper felt a deep sense of fulfillment as he stood in the reincarnation chamber, having just guided Lydia to her next life. The courtyard around him glowed with the serene light of the setting sun, casting an ethereal ambiance over the space. He had found a profound purpose in the reincarnation rites, and the experience had touched him deeply. Now, he was ready to continue his journey, helping more souls transition with compassion and understanding. Alara stood beside him, her presence a calming influence. Jack, she said, her voice gentle, the reincarnation rites are a continuous journey. Each soul we guide is unique, with their own story and their own needs. Our role is to listen, to comfort, and to help them find peace. Jack nodded, feeling the weight of the responsibility but also the honor it entailed. I understand, Alara, I'm ready to continue. Alara smiled warmly. Let's meet our next soul. She raised her hands and chanted an ancient incantation. The air shimmered, and a new soul appeared before them, a middle-aged man named Samuel. His form was faintly glowing, but his expression was one of sorrow and regret. Jack felt an immediate connection to Samuel's pain. Hello, Samuel, Alara greeted him softly. This is Jack, and we are here to help you through the reincarnation rites. Samuel looked at Jack and Alara, his eyes filled with emotion. Thank you, he said, his voice trembling. I have so many regrets. My life was filled with mistakes and missed opportunities. I don't know if I deserve another chance. Jack stepped forward, his heart aching for Samuel. Everyone makes mistakes, Samuel. The important thing is to find peace with your past and embrace the opportunity to start anew. Tell us your story. We are here to listen. Samuel took a deep breath and began to share his story. He spoke of a life marked by poor decisions, lost friendships, and unfulfilled dreams. He had always intended to make amends, but life had slipped away from him too quickly. As he spoke, Jack and Alara listened with empathy, offering words of comfort and understanding. Your story is one of many layers, Samuel, Alara said gently. Regret can be a heavy burden, but it does not define your entire journey. There is always a chance for redemption and growth in the next life. Jack nodded in agreement. The love and compassion you carry in your heart can guide you forward. Focus on the lessons you've learned and the desire to make amends. That will shape your new journey. As they spoke, Samuel's form began to glow more brightly, the weight of his regrets lifting. Jack could see the change in him, the sense of hope replacing the sorrow. Thank you, Samuel said, his voice steadier. I feel lighter. I feel ready. Alara nodded. Let's prepare for the rite of reincarnation. They moved to the center of the stone circle, the heart of the reincarnation chamber. Alara guided Jack through the process of opening the portal, combining their energies and chanting the sacred incantation. The air shimmered with light and a warm, inviting portal began to form. Samuel, Alara said, her voice filled with compassion, it's time to continue your journey. Step through the portal and embrace your new life with hope and determination. Samuel looked at Jack and Alara, gratitude shining in his eyes. I won't waste this chance, he said. Thank you for helping me find peace. With a final, serene smile, Samuel stepped through the portal, his form dissolving into the light. The portal closed behind him, leaving the courtyard filled with a sense of tranquility and fulfillment. Jack took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. He had helped Samuel transition to his next life, and the experience had deepened his understanding of the reincarnation rites. Every soul's journey is unique, Alara said, her voice gentle but firm. Our role is to guide them with compassion and understanding. You are doing well, Jack. Remember that each soul you help leaves a mark on your own journey. Jack nodded, deeply moved by the experience. I understand, Alara. Each soul's story becomes a part of me, shaping my own path as a reaper. Over the following days, Jack continued to perform the reincarnation rites, each experience adding to his empathy and strengthening his resolve. He guided many souls, each with their own unique stories, and found a profound sense of purpose in helping them find peace and continue their journeys. One soul, a young girl named Emily, had a story that touched Jack deeply. Emily had lived a short but vibrant life, filled with curiosity and love. She had passed away from a sudden illness, leaving her family heartbroken. As Emily shared her story, Jack felt a deep sense of sorrow and compassion. I miss my family so much, Emily said, her voice filled with innocence and longing. I want to see them again. Jack knelt beside Emily, his heart aching for her. Your family loves you very much, Emily. In your next life, you may find them again, and the love you share will guide you. Hold on to those happy memories and let them light your way. Emily nodded, her form glowing more brightly. Thank you, Jack. I feel better now. Alara guided them through the rite of reincarnation, opening the portal with a combination of incantations and symbols. As the portal formed, Emily looked at Jack and Alara with a smile that was both hopeful and bittersweet. I'll see them again, won't I? She asked. Yes, Emily, Jack said softly. You will see them again. With a final, joyful glance, Emily stepped through the portal, her form dissolving into the light. The portal closed behind her, leaving the courtyard filled with a sense of peace and hope. Jack stood in the reincarnation chamber, reflecting on the souls he had guided. Each one had left a mark on him, shaping his own journey as a reaper. The reincarnation rites were more than just rituals, they were a deeply personal and spiritual journey that connected him with the souls he guided. Jack, Alara said, placing a hand on his shoulder, you have shown great compassion and understanding. The reincarnation rites are a sacred duty, and you have embraced them fully. Continue to listen to the souls, offer them comfort, and guide them with empathy. You are making a difference in their journeys. Jack nodded, feeling a profound sense of purpose. Thank you, Alara. I will continue to guide the souls with compassion and understanding. Their stories have become a part of me, and I am honored to help them find peace. Chapter 23. Hell's Politics. Jack Harper had come a long way in his journey as a soul reaper. From guiding lost souls to transcending vengeful spirits, his duties had always been spiritually and emotionally demanding. Yet, as he stood in the Grand Council chamber, surrounded by the most influential figures of the underworld, Jack realized that another equally complex and challenging aspect of his role awaited him: navigating the intricate politics of hell. Thanatos, his mentor and the head of the Reaper's Council, had summoned him to this gathering. The chamber, with its high vaulted ceilings and walls lined with ancient tapestries, exuded an air of solemnity and power. The light from the flickering torches cast long shadows, creating an atmosphere of both mystery and gravitas. Jack, Thanatos began, his voice carrying the weight of centuries of wisdom, you have proven yourself as a capable reaper, but to truly fulfill your role, you must understand the political landscape of the underworld. Our realm is not just a place of spiritual transitions, it is also a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and power struggles. Jack nodded, feeling a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. He had always focused on his duties, guided by the principles of the Soul Reaper's Code, but now he was about to enter a world where the lines between duty and ambition often blurred. Thanatos gestured to the figures seated around the grand table. Allow me to introduce you to some of the key political players in our realm. First, there was Lord Asmodeus, ruler of the Shadow District. Asmodeus was a tall, imposing figure with a sharp, angular face and piercing eyes that seemed to see through to one's very soul. His presence exuded power and authority, and Jack could sense the ambition that lay beneath his composed exterior. Asmodeus controls the Shadow District, a region known for its treacherous paths and high concentration of malevolent spirits, Thanatos explained. He is a cunning strategist and always seeks to expand his influence. Next, Jack was introduced to Lady Lilith, a powerful sorceress who held sway over the spiritual realms. Lilith was strikingly beautiful, with an air of otherworldly elegance. Her eyes glowed with an inner light, hinting at her vast knowledge of ancient magic and her ability to wield it with precision. Lilith is a master of arcane arts, Thanatos said. Her knowledge of ancient spells and rituals makes her a formidable ally or a dangerous adversary. Jack greeted each of them with respect, aware that their support or opposition could greatly impact his work. He quickly realized that navigating the political landscape of the underworld required not only understanding the power dynamics at play but also the ability to negotiate and build relationships. As the meeting progressed, Jack listened intently to the discussions around the table. The topics ranged from maintaining the balance of souls to the allocation of resources for various regions. It became clear that each figure had their own agenda and interests, and alliances were constantly shifting. After the formal introductions, Thanatos invited Jack to join him in a smaller, more private chamber. Here, they could speak candidly about the challenges ahead. Jack, Thanatos said, his tone serious, the balance of power in the underworld is delicate. As you rise in influence, you will find yourself caught in the midst of political machinations. It is crucial that you learn to navigate these waters carefully. Jack nodded, absorbing the gravity of Thanatos' words. I understand, Thanatos. How do I begin? Thanatos leaned back in his chair, his expression thoughtful. Start by building relationships. Understand the motivations and desires of those in power. Gain their trust, but always be wary of their ambitions. Politics in the underworld is a game of shadows and whispers, and you must learn to play it well. Over the next few weeks, Jack immersed himself in the political intricacies of the underworld. He attended meetings, observed negotiations, and engaged in discussions with various political figures. He quickly learned that diplomacy was an art form, requiring a careful balance of assertiveness and tact. One evening, Jack found himself in a private meeting with Lord Asmodeus. The room was dimly lit, the flickering candlelight casting eerie shadows on the walls. Asmodeus studied Jack with an inscrutable expression, his piercing gaze unwavering. Jack, Asmodeus began, his voice smooth and calculated, you have impressed many with your abilities as a reaper. But tell me, how do you view your role within the political landscape of the underworld? Jack chose his words carefully. My primary duty is to guide souls and maintain balance, but I understand that achieving this often requires navigating the complexities of our political environment. I seek to build alliances that support the stability and harmony of the realms. Asmodeus leaned back, a faint smile playing at the corners of his mouth. A wise answer. The balance of power is indeed delicate, and it takes a skilled hand to maintain it. Remember, Jack, alliances are built on mutual interests. Find those interests, and you will find your allies. The conversation continued, with Asmodeus offering insights into the power dynamics of the underworld. Jack listened intently, aware that every word carried weight. He left the meeting with a deeper understanding of the political landscape and the realization that building alliances was key to his success. His next meeting was with Lady Lilith. They met in a serene garden, filled with ethereal flowers that glowed softly in the twilight. Lilith's presence was both calming and intimidating, her eyes reflecting a depth of knowledge that was almost otherworldly. Jack, Lilith said, her voice melodic and soothing, I have heard much about your work as a reaper. You possess a unique blend of compassion and strength. But tell me, how do you intend to navigate the intricate web of politics that governs our realm? Jack took a moment to consider his response. I believe that understanding and empathy are key. Each political figure has their own motivations and desires. By understanding those motivations, I can build relationships based on trust and mutual respect. Lilith nodded approvingly. You speak wisely. The underworld is a place of many secrets and hidden agendas. Trust is a rare commodity, but it can be the foundation of powerful alliances. Remember, Jack, knowledge is power. Seek it out, and use it wisely. As the weeks went by, Jack continued to build relationships and navigate the political landscape. He attended formal gatherings, participated in strategic discussions, and even mediated disputes between rival factions. Through it all, he remained focused on his primary goal, maintaining the balance and harmony of the afterlife. Jack's ability to understand and empathize with the motivations of others served him well. He gained the trust of influential figures, and his reputation as a skilled diplomat grew. He learned to anticipate the moves of his political adversaries, always staying one step ahead in the game of shadows and whispers. However, Jack also encountered resistance and challenges. Not everyone was willing to accept his growing influence. Some viewed him as a threat to their own power, while others were simply wary of his intentions. Jack had to navigate these challenges with care, always mindful of the delicate balance he sought to maintain. One particularly challenging encounter was with a faction leader named Moros, who harbored ambitions of overthrowing the established order. Moros was charismatic and persuasive, with a growing following of discontented spirits and lower-ranking reapers. Jack quickly realized that Moros's ambitions could disrupt the balance of the underworld. Thanatos tasked Jack with investigating Moros's activities and gathering intelligence on his plans. This mission required Jack to use his diplomatic skills to infiltrate Moros's faction and gain the trust of key members. It was a dangerous game of deception, one that required Jack to constantly navigate a web of lies and intrigue. Through careful maneuvering and strategic alliances, Jack managed to gather crucial information about Moros's plans. He discovered that Moros intended to unleash a powerful dark force that could overthrow the current rulers and plunge the underworld into chaos. Armed with this knowledge, Jack returned to Thanatos and the council, presenting his findings and formulating a plan to thwart Moros' rebellion. The council recognized the gravity of the situation and mobilized their forces to confront Moros and his followers. The ensuing confrontation was intense, with Jack and his allies facing off against Moros and his faction. Through a combination of strategic planning, combat skills, and the support of powerful allies like Lord Asmodeus and Lady Lilith, Jack and the council managed to defeat Moros and restore order to the underworld. Jack Harper had become adept at navigating the treacherous waters of Hell's politics, building alliances, and understanding the motivations of powerful figures like Lord Asmodeus and Lady Lilith. However, as he delved deeper into the political landscape, he uncovered a sinister plot that threatened the very foundation of the underworld. A rogue reaper named Moros was amassing a following, intent on overthrowing the established order and seizing control of the spiritual realms. Moros, a once respected reaper who had become disillusioned with the strict codes governing their duties, had garnered support from discontented spirits and lower-ranking reapers. He promised them power and freedom from the constraints that bound their actions. Jack realized that if left unchecked, Moros' rebellion could lead to chaos and disrupt the balance of the afterlife. Thanatos, recognizing the gravity of the situation, tasked Jack with investigating Moros' activities and gathering intelligence on his plans. This mission required Jack to infiltrate Moros' faction, gain the trust of key members, and uncover the full extent of his ambitions. It was a dangerous assignment, one that required a careful balance of deception and diplomacy. Jack began by studying the structure and tactics of Moros' faction. He attended covert meetings, observed the group's dynamics, and slowly ingratiated himself with Moros' lieutenants. One of the key figures in Moros' inner circle was a reaper named Nyx, who was known for her strategic mind and fierce loyalty to Moros. Gaining her trust would be crucial to Jack's success. Jack arranged a meeting with Nyx in a secluded part of the underworld, a place where shadows danced and the air was thick with the presence of restless spirits. As they met, Jack could sense Nyx's wariness, but he also saw an opportunity to establish a connection. "Nyx," Jack began, his voice steady, "I've been watching Moros' rise with great interest. I believe in his vision for a freer, more powerful underworld. But I need to understand more about his plans and how I can contribute." Nyx studied Jack carefully, her eyes sharp and discerning. "Moros' vision is one of true liberation," she said. "We seek to break free from the chains that bind us and create a new order where strength and power are rewarded. But trust is not easily given. You will need to prove your loyalty." Jack nodded, understanding the challenge before him. "I am prepared to do whatever it takes. Tell me what I need to do." Nyx's expression softened slightly, a sign that she was willing to give Jack a chance. "There is a mission that requires careful execution. One of Moros' objectives is to weaken the protective wards around the Soul Council's chambers. If you can assist us in this task, it will show your commitment to our cause." Jack agreed, knowing that this mission would provide him with the perfect opportunity to gather valuable intelligence. He accompanied Nyx and a small group of rebels to the outskirts of the Soul Council's chambers, where the protective wards were strongest. As they worked to disrupt the wards, Jack carefully observed their methods and techniques, making mental notes of their weaknesses and vulnerabilities. He also used the opportunity to subtly sow seeds of doubt among the rebels, questioning Moros' true intentions and the potential consequences of their actions. "Are we sure this is the right path?" Jack asked one of the rebels, a young reaper named Dorian. "What if Moros' vision leads to greater chaos and destruction? The balance of the afterlife is delicate, and disrupting it could have unforeseen consequences." Dorian hesitated, his expression conflicted. "I have wondered the same, but Moros promises us power and freedom. It is hard to ignore." Jack nodded, understanding the allure of Moros' promises. True power lies in maintaining balance and ensuring the well-being of all souls. If we upset that balance, we risk plunging the underworld into chaos. As the mission progressed, Jack's subtle efforts to plant seeds of doubt began to take root. Some of the rebels started to question their allegiance, wondering if they were on the right path. Jack knew that gaining their trust and loyalty would be crucial in dismantling Moros' faction from within. After successfully disrupting part of the wards, Jack returned to Nyx with a detailed report of their progress. Nyx seemed impressed by his dedication and skill, but she remained cautious. "You have proven yourself useful, Jack. But there is still much to be done. Moros' ultimate plan involves unleashing a powerful dark force that could overthrow the current rulers and reshape the underworld." Jack's heart raced at the revelation. This dark force, if unleashed, could have catastrophic consequences. He needed to act quickly and decisively to prevent Moros' plan from coming to fruition. With the information he had gathered, Jack returned to Thanatos and the Soul Council, presenting his findings and formulating a plan to thwart Moros' rebellion. The council recognized the urgency of the situation and mobilized their forces to confront Moros and his followers. The confrontation took place in the Shadow District, a region known for its treacherous paths and high concentration of malevolent spirits. Jack and his allies, including Lord Asmodeus and Lady Lilith, prepared for battle, knowing that the fate of the underworld hung in the balance. As the two factions clashed, the air was filled with the sound of clashing scythes and the cries of battle. Jack fought alongside his allies, using his combat skills and strategic mind to outmaneuver Moroz's forces. The rebels, though formidable, were no match for the combined strength and determination of the Soul Council and their supporters. In the midst of the chaos, Jack faced off against Moroz. The Rogue Reaper was a formidable opponent, his eyes burning with a mix of ambition and desperation. "You are a fool, Jack," Moroz sneered. "The current order is weak and corrupt. I will create a new world, one where power is the ultimate currency." Jack's expression was resolute. "True power lies in balance and harmony. Your vision will only bring chaos and destruction." The two clashed, their scythes glowing with energy as they exchanged powerful blows. Jack's training and experience gave him an edge, but Moroz's sheer determination made him a relentless adversary. As they fought, Jack's mind raced, searching for a way to end the conflict and prevent the unleashing of the dark force. In a decisive moment, Jack managed to disarm Moroz, his scythe slicing through the air with precision. Moroz fell to the ground, defeated but not broken. "This is not the end," Moroz hissed. "There will always be those who seek to overthrow the established order." Jack stood over Moroz, his expression somber. "Perhaps, but for now, the balance is restored." With Moroz's defeat, the remaining rebels were quickly subdued. The battle had been fierce, but the Soul Council emerged victorious. The dark force that Moroz had sought to unleash was contained, and the protective wards around the Soul Council's chambers were restored. Chapter 25. Ghostly Confessions. Jack Harper had made a name for himself as a Soul Reaper, guiding souls to their next journeys and maintaining the balance of the afterlife. But his live streaming had taken on a life of its own, capturing the attention of both the living and the dead. Recognizing the unique opportunity his platform provided, Jack decided to create a new series, Ghostly Confessions, where wandering souls could share their stories with a wide audience. This initiative aimed to offer them a chance for closure, redemption, and peace. On a cool, tranquil evening, Jack set up his streaming equipment in a serene part of Soul City. The ethereal glow of the afterlife provided a fitting backdrop for what he hoped would be a deeply moving and impactful series. He titled the stream, Ghostly Confessions, and announced to his followers that he would be sharing the stories of souls who needed to unburden themselves. As the stream went live, Jack welcomed his viewers with his characteristic warmth. "Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we're starting something very special. We'll be hearing the confessions and stories of souls who have been wandering, seeking closure. Your support and empathy mean the world to them, and together, we can help them find peace." The chat quickly filled with messages of excitement and support, as Jack's followers expressed their eagerness to be part of this unique experience. Jack felt a surge of gratitude for his audience, knowing that their collective energy could make a significant difference. The first soul to appear was a young woman named Emily. Her form was faintly glowing, and her eyes held a mixture of sorrow and longing. Jack greeted her gently. "Welcome, Emily. Please, share your story with us." Emily took a deep breath, her voice trembling as she began. "I was just 18 when I died. It was a car accident. One moment, I was laughing with my friends, and the next, everything went dark. I had so many dreams, so many things I wanted to do. I miss my family and my friends every day." Jack listened intently, his heart aching for Emily's lost potential. "Emily, it's clear that you were loved and that you had so much to offer. Your family and friends still carry your memory with them. What would you like to say to them?" Tears welled up in Emily's eyes. "I want to tell them I'm sorry for any pain my death caused. I want them to know that I love them and that I'm okay. I hope they can find peace and remember the happy times." The chat was filled with messages of support and empathy. "You're so brave, Emily," one viewer wrote. "Your family is proud of you," said another. Jack could see the impact Emily's story was having, both on her and on the audience. "Thank you for sharing, Emily," Jack said softly. "Your words will reach them, and they'll know that you're at peace. You're not forgotten." As Emily's form began to fade, replaced by a sense of tranquility, Jack felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He knew that this was just the beginning, and that many more souls needed the chance to share their stories. The next soul to appear was an elderly man named Samuel. His face was lined with regret, and his eyes held the weight of unspoken burdens. Jack greeted him with respect. "Welcome, Samuel. Please, share your story with us." Samuel sighed heavily, his voice thick with emotion. "I lived a long life, but not a good one. I made mistakes, hurt people I loved, and I never made things right. My son, we had a terrible argument before he left home. I never saw him again. He died in the war, and I never got to apologize." Jack's heart went out to Samuel. "Samuel, it's never too late to seek forgiveness and make amends. Your son knows your heart now. What would you like to say to him?" Samuel's voice broke as he spoke. "I'm sorry, son. I wish I had been a better father. I love you, and I hope you can forgive me." The chat was once again filled with messages of support. "You're forgiven, Samuel," one viewer wrote. "Your son loves you," said another. Jack felt the collective empathy of his audience, knowing that their support was helping to heal Samuel's wounded soul. Thank you for sharing, Samuel, Jack said gently. Your son hears you, and he knows your love. You can find peace now. As Samuel's form began to fade, replaced by a sense of release and acceptance, Jack felt a profound sense of purpose. This was the true power of his platform, to give voice to the voiceless and to help souls find peace. Throughout the evening, more souls came forward to share their confessions. Each story was unique, filled with emotions ranging from sorrow and regret to joy and gratitude. Some souls sought forgiveness for past mistakes, while others wanted to express their love and appreciation for the people they had left behind. One particularly touching story came from a woman named Maria. She had been estranged from her family after a bitter argument and had passed away before she could reconcile with them. Her confession was filled with regret and a longing for forgiveness. I miss my family so much, Maria said, tears streaming down her face. I wish I could tell them I'm sorry. I wish I could hug them one more time. Jack's heart ached for Maria. Maria, your family feels your love and your longing. What would you like to say to them? Maria's voice was filled with emotion. I'm sorry for everything. I love you all so much. Please forgive me. The chat was filled with messages of support and forgiveness. They forgive you, Maria, one viewer wrote. Your love will reach them, said another. Jack could see the healing power of these confessions, both for the souls and for the viewers. Thank you for sharing, Maria, Jack said gently. Your family hears you, and they know your love. You can find peace now. As Maria's form began to fade, replaced by a sense of reconciliation and peace, Jack felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He knew that this series was making a real difference, helping souls to unburden themselves and find closure. As the stream came to an end, Jack addressed his audience. Thank you all for being part of this incredible journey. Your empathy and support are making a real difference. Together, we can help these souls find peace and continue their journeys. The chat was filled with messages of gratitude and appreciation. Thank you, Jack, one viewer wrote. This was beautiful, said another. Jack felt a deep sense of connection with his audience, knowing that they were united in their desire to help. With the success of the first, Ghostly Confessions, stream, Jack knew that this was just the beginning. There were many more souls in need of a voice, and he was determined to continue providing a platform for them. His role as a soul reaper had evolved, and he embraced this new chapter with dedication and compassion. As Jack Harper's Ghostly Confessions series gained traction, he noticed that many of the stories revealed hidden truths about the soul's past lives. These confessions often brought to light long-forgotten secrets, unresolved conflicts, and injustices that had kept these spirits from finding peace. Jack realized that by streaming these stories, he was not only helping the souls but also inspiring his audience to engage in acts of empathy and reconciliation. One evening, Jack prepared for another session of Ghostly Confessions. He had set up his equipment in a quiet, reflective part of Soul City where the gentle glow of the twilight provided a peaceful ambiance. His audience had grown significantly, with viewers eager to hear the stories of the departed and to offer their support. The first soul to appear was a man named Thomas. His presence was heavy with sorrow, and his eyes reflected years of suffering and regret. Jack greeted him with compassion. Welcome, Thomas. Please, share your story with us. Thomas took a deep breath, his voice trembling as he began. I was executed for a crime I didn't commit. I spent my final days in a cold, dark cell, waiting for the end. The injustice of it all haunts me. I never had a chance to clear my name. Jack felt a surge of anger and sadness on Thomas's behalf. Thomas, your story deserves to be heard. Tell us everything you remember. We will do our best to help you find justice. Thomas recounted the events leading up to his execution with painstaking detail. He described how he had been framed by a corrupt official, how witnesses had been coerced to testify against him, and how he had been denied a fair trial. As Thomas spoke, the chat filled with messages of outrage and determination. This is so unfair, one viewer wrote. We need to help Thomas, said another. Jack knew that Thomas's story needed to reach a wider audience. Thomas, thank you for sharing your story. With your permission, I'd like to share this with my followers and seek their help in uncovering the truth. Thomas nodded, his expression filled with hope. Please, do whatever you can. I just want my name cleared. Jack turned to his viewers. Everyone, you've heard Thomas's story. Let's work together to uncover the truth and bring justice to his memory. Any information or research you can do will help. The response was overwhelming. Jack's followers began researching historical records, looking for any evidence that could corroborate Thomas's story. They reached out to local historians, legal experts, and anyone who might have insight into the case. Their collective efforts soon uncovered a series of documents that supported Thomas's claims, revealing the corruption and misconduct that had led to his wrongful execution. With this new evidence, Jack and his followers petitioned for a posthumous pardon for Thomas. The story gained media attention, and public pressure mounted. After weeks of relentless advocacy, Thomas was finally exonerated, his name cleared, and his memory honored. Jack shared the news with Thomas during a live stream. Thomas, your name has been cleared. Justice has been served. Thomas's form glowed with a sense of relief and gratitude. Thank you, Jack. Thank you to everyone who helped. I can finally find peace. As Thomas's form faded, Jack felt a deep sense of accomplishment. The power of collective action and empathy had made a tangible difference in the afterlife. But Thomas's story was just one of many. Another soul to come forward was Maria, a woman who had lost touch with her family after a bitter argument. Her confession was filled with regret and a longing for reconciliation. "I haven't spoken to my family in years," Maria said, her voice choked with emotion. "We argued over something foolish, and I never got the chance to make things right before I died. I miss them so much." Jack's heart went out to Maria. "Maria, your family still loves you. What would you like to say to them?" Maria's eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry for everything. I love you all so much. Please forgive me." Jack turned to his viewers. "Everyone, let's help Maria reconnect with her family. If anyone knows her descendants or can help reach out to them, let's bring them together." The response was swift and heartfelt. Jack's followers used social media, genealogy websites, and other resources to locate Maria's descendants. Within days, they found her family and arranged a virtual meeting. During the live stream, Jack facilitated the reunion. Maria's descendants, including her children and grandchildren, appeared on the screen. Tears flowed as Maria expressed her love and regret, and her family responded with forgiveness and love. "Mom, we missed you so much," Maria's daughter said, her voice breaking. "We forgive you. We love you." Maria's form glowed with joy and relief. "Thank you. I love you all." As the reunion concluded, Jack felt a profound sense of fulfillment. He had witnessed the healing power of reconciliation and the importance of connecting the living with the departed. Throughout the series, more souls came forward with their confessions. Each story was unique, filled with emotions ranging from sorrow and regret to joy and gratitude. One soul, an artist named Lena, had died before she could finish her masterpiece. Her confession was a blend of pride in her work and sadness over her untimely death. "I spent my life creating art," Lena said, her eyes shining with passion. "But I never finished my greatest piece. It's hidden in my old studio. I wish I could see it completed." Jack and his viewers were captivated by Lena's story. "Lena, let's find your masterpiece and see it completed," Jack said. He shared the details of Lena's studio, and his followers quickly mobilized. Art enthusiasts, historians, and even professional restorers joined the effort. They located Lena's studio and discovered the unfinished masterpiece, a breathtaking painting that captured the beauty and complexity of the human soul. Working together, they completed the piece, honoring Lena's vision. Jack revealed the finished painting during a live stream, sharing it with Lena. "Lena, your masterpiece is complete. It's beautiful." Lena's form glowed with pride and fulfillment. "Thank you, Jack. Thank you, everyone. My work is complete." As the stories continued to unfold, Jack's streams became a powerful force for healing and reconciliation. The confessions not only provided closure for the wandering souls but also inspired viewers to reflect on their own lives and relationships. Jack's compassionate approach and genuine desire to help made a profound impact, fostering a sense of empathy and understanding in both the living and the dead. Chapter 26. The Phantom Detective. Jack Harper's role as a Soul Reaper had evolved dramatically since he first started streaming his otherworldly duties. His streams had garnered a massive following, bridging the gap between the living and the dead in unprecedented ways. One evening, as Jack was sifting through messages from his viewers, he received an urgent plea that stood out from the rest. The message came from a young woman named Claire, whose grandfather, a prominent politician named Richard Campbell, had disappeared under mysterious circumstances over 30 years ago. Despite numerous investigations and countless leads, the case had gone cold, leaving Richard's family in a perpetual state of grief and uncertainty. Claire's message was heartfelt and desperate. She believed that Jack's unique abilities could finally bring closure to her family. Intrigued by the potential to solve such a high-profile case and driven by the possibility of bringing justice and peace to a tormented soul, Jack decided to take on the challenge. He began by delving into the existing details of the case, gathering all available information from public records, news articles, and police reports. The story was complex and filled with twists and turns. Richard Campbell had been a charismatic and influential politician, known for his integrity and dedication to fighting corruption. His disappearance had sent shockwaves through the political landscape, leading to widespread speculation and numerous conspiracy theories. On the night he vanished, Richard had been investigating a major corruption scandal within his own party. He had uncovered damning evidence that implicated several high-ranking officials. His last known whereabouts were a secluded meeting spot where he had arranged a rendezvous with an anonymous informant. He was never seen again. Jack realized that the first step in his investigation would be to contact Richard's spirit. He prepared for a special stream, which he titled, The Phantom Detective, and announced to his followers that he would be attempting to solve this high-profile cold case. His audience was captivated by the premise, eager to see Jack's skills in action as he attempted to unravel the mystery. On the night of the stream, Jack set up his equipment in a solemn, quiet part of Soul City where he could focus his energies without distractions. The ambient light of the afterlife cast a serene glow over the scene, adding to the gravity of the task at hand. Jack began the stream, addressing his audience with his characteristic blend of warmth and seriousness. "Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we embark on a very special and challenging journey. We are going to attempt to solve the cold case of Richard Campbell, a politician who disappeared over 30 years ago under mysterious circumstances. With your help and the guidance of the spirits, we hope to bring closure to his family and justice to his memory. The chat quickly filled with messages of support and encouragement. Jack felt a surge of determination as he initiated the ritual to contact Richard's spirit. He closed his eyes, focused his energy, and began to chant the incantation that would bridge the gap between the living and the dead. After several tense moments, Jack felt a presence. The air grew colder, and a faint, ethereal form began to take shape before him. Richard Campbell's spirit appeared, his features etched with sorrow and frustration. Jack greeted him with respect and compassion. "Richard, thank you for coming. We are here to help you find peace and to uncover the truth about what happened to you. Can you tell us your story?" Richard's voice was a ghostly whisper, filled with the weight of unresolved pain. "I was betrayed and murdered. I was on the verge of exposing a massive corruption scandal. I had gathered enough evidence to bring down several powerful people. On the night I disappeared, I was lured to a secluded location under the pretense of meeting an informant. Instead, I was ambushed and killed." Jack listened intently, feeling the gravity of Richard's words. "Do you remember who was involved? Can you give us any details about your attackers?" Richard's form flickered as he struggled to recall the traumatic events. "There were several of them. High-ranking officials, businessmen, people I trusted. One name stands out, Victor Thorne. He was a powerful business mogul, deeply entangled in the corruption I was investigating." Jack noted the name, recognizing its significance. "Thank you, Richard. Your information is crucial. We will do everything we can to bring justice to your memory." Turning to his viewers, Jack shared the details Richard had provided. "Everyone, we've made contact with Richard Campbell's spirit. He was investigating corruption and was betrayed by people he trusted. One name stands out, Victor Thorne. Let's work together to uncover more information and bring this case to a close." Jack's followers responded with enthusiasm, diving into research to uncover any connections between Victor Thorne and Richard Campbell. They combed through old news articles, financial records, and political documents, piecing together a timeline and identifying potential suspects. As the investigation progressed, Jack arranged interviews with individuals who had been close to Richard and who might have information about the night he disappeared. He streamed these interviews, allowing his viewers to participate in real time and provide input. The collective effort of Jack and his audience began to reveal a clearer picture of the events leading up to Richard's disappearance. One of the key interviews was with Richard's former assistant, a woman named Margaret, who had been deeply involved in his work. Margaret recounted the intense pressure and threats Richard had faced as he delved deeper into the corruption scandal. "Richard was determined to expose the truth," Margaret said, her voice trembling with emotion. "He knew the risks, but he believed it was worth it. He received numerous threats, but he never backed down. The night he disappeared, he seemed anxious, but he didn't tell me much. He just said he was meeting someone who had crucial information." Margaret's testimony provided valuable insights and confirmed many of Richard's claims. Jack and his viewers continued to piece together the puzzle, uncovering more evidence that pointed to Victor Thorne and his associates. As the investigation gained momentum, Jack decided to confront Victor Thorne directly. Using his platform to apply public pressure, he reached out to Thorne and requested an interview. To Jack's surprise, Thorne agreed, likely underestimating the reach and impact of Jack's platform. The interview took place in Thorne's opulent office, a stark contrast to the weighty task at hand. Thorne exuded confidence, his demeanor cool and composed. Jack began with polite but probing questions, gradually steering the conversation towards the night of Richard's disappearance. "Mr. Thorne, Richard Campbell's disappearance has haunted many people for decades. We've uncovered evidence that suggests you were one of the last people to see him alive. Can you explain your relationship with Mr. Campbell and your whereabouts on the night he vanished?" Thorne's eyes narrowed slightly, but he maintained his composure. "Richard and I were business associates. We had our disagreements, but I had no reason to harm him. On the night he disappeared, I was at a charity event. Many people can vouch for my presence there." Jack pressed further, presenting inconsistencies in Thorne's alibi and revealing details that only someone closely involved would know. As the interview progressed, Thorne's facade began to crack. His responses became defensive, and it was clear he was hiding something. In a moment of frustration, Thorne slipped, revealing knowledge of details that had never been made public. Jack seized the opportunity, his voice calm but firm. "Mr. Thorne, you just admitted knowledge of details that only the murderer would know. How do you explain that?" Thorne's composure shattered. He realized he had been caught and tried to deflect, but the evidence was overwhelming. Jack's viewers, watching the live stream, quickly spread the news. Public pressure mounted, and law enforcement took notice. Within days, Victor Thorne was arrested and charged with the murder of Richard Campbell. The cold case that had remained unresolved for decades was finally brought to a close, thanks to Jack's determination and the collective efforts of his followers. Justice had been served, and Richard's spirit could finally rest in peace. Jack shared the news with his audience during a live stream, his voice filled with emotion. "We've done it. Together, we've brought justice to a soul that had been waiting for decades. Thank you for your support and your dedication. Chapter 27. Reaper Rivalry. Jack Harper's influence as a Soul Reaper and his innovative approach to using live streaming to help souls find peace had significantly transformed the dynamics of the afterlife. However, not everyone was pleased with the changes he was bringing. As his reputation grew, so did the murmurs of discontent among some of his fellow Reapers, who felt that his unconventional methods were undermining the sanctity of their ancient duties. Among his most vocal critics was Valeria, a seasoned and highly respected Reaper known for her strict adherence to traditional practices. Valeria had served the council for centuries, and her dedication to the old ways had earned her a position of considerable influence. She viewed Jack's public presence and his live streaming activities as a dangerous deviation from the solemn responsibilities of a Reaper. One fateful evening, the tension came to a head during a council meeting held in the Grand Hall of the Reapers' headquarters. The hall, with its high vaulted ceilings and walls lined with ancient symbols, was filled with a somber atmosphere. The flickering torches cast long shadows, reflecting the gravity of the discussions about to take place. Thanatos, the head of the council and Jack's mentor, stood at the center of the room, flanked by other senior Reapers. He called the meeting to order, his deep voice resonating through the hall. We have gathered here to address concerns that have arisen regarding the practices and methods employed by one of our own, Jack Harper. Jack, standing at the edge of the room, felt the weight of the gazes upon him. He knew this confrontation was inevitable. Valeria stepped forward, her eyes fixed on Jack with a mixture of frustration and determination. Thanatos, Valeria began, her voice steady but tinged with a hint of anger. Jack's live streams and public involvement are compromising the integrity of our work. He is turning our sacred duties into a spectacle for the living. Our role as Reapers is to guide souls with dignity and respect, not to entertain an audience. Jack met her gaze calmly. Valeria, my goal has always been to help souls find peace and to bridge the gap between the living and the dead. The support and engagement from the living world have brought justice and closure to many souls. Our methods may differ, but our objectives are the same. Valeria's expression hardened. But at what cost, Jack? The sanctity of our duties is being eroded. Our work should remain in the shadows, unseen and unknown by the living. You risk exposing us to scrutiny and misunderstanding. The council members watched the exchange with keen interest, recognizing the underlying conflict between tradition and innovation. Thanatos raised a hand to calm the growing tension. Both of you have valid points. Our duties are sacred, and the balance we maintain is delicate. However, the world is changing, and we must consider how we adapt to those changes. Jack took a deep breath, choosing his words carefully. I understand the importance of our traditions, Valeria, but I also believe that by engaging with the living world, we can provide a greater service to the souls we guide. We can bring light to hidden truths and help those who have been forgotten. Valeria shook her head, her frustration evident. You are naive if you think the living can understand or respect the true nature of our work. They seek entertainment, not enlightenment. Thanatos intervened once more. Perhaps it is time we find a way to integrate both perspectives. I propose a joint mission between Jack and Valeria. This mission will serve as a test of your ability to work together and demonstrate that both traditional and innovative methods can coexist. The room fell silent as everyone considered Thanatos' proposal. Jack and Valeria exchanged glances, both reluctant but recognizing the wisdom in Thanatos' suggestion. After a moment, they both nodded in agreement. Very well, Thanatos said, a hint of relief in his voice. You will be tasked with guiding a group of particularly troubled souls to their next journey. This mission will require both of your unique skills and perspectives. It will be a test of your cooperation and your dedication to our duties. As the meeting adjourned, Jack and Valeria remained behind, each lost in their thoughts. The weight of their rivalry and the challenge ahead was palpable. Jack approached Valeria, his expression sincere. Valeria, I know we have our differences, but I respect your dedication and your skill. Let's use this mission to prove that we can achieve more together than apart. Valeria's eyes softened slightly, though her resolve remained firm. I will work with you, Jack. But know this. I will not compromise the principles that have guided us for centuries. Jack nodded. Nor will I. But perhaps we can find a way to honor both our traditions and our need to evolve. In the days leading up to their mission, Jack and Valeria prepared diligently. They studied the profiles of the troubled souls they were to guide, strategizing on how best to combine their methods. Valeria focused on the rituals and incantations that would provide structure and stability, while Jack planned to use his empathetic connections to uncover the deeper emotions and stories that kept the souls tethered to their pain. The night before their departure, Jack found himself reflecting on the journey ahead. He understood the importance of tradition, but he also saw the potential for growth and healing through his engagement with the living world. He hoped that through this mission, he could demonstrate that innovation did not mean abandoning their sacred duties but enhancing them. When the day of the mission arrived, Jack and Valeria set off together, the tension between them still present but tempered by a shared sense of purpose. They traveled to a desolate region of the afterlife known as the Lost Fields, a place where souls who had died violent and traumatic deaths wandered aimlessly, unable to find peace. The lost fields were shrouded in an eerie mist, the air heavy with sorrow and unresolved anguish. Jack and Valeria approached the first soul, a warrior named Alaric who had died in battle and remained consumed by rage and sorrow. Valeria began with a ritual cleansing, her incantations creating a circle of light around Alaric. However, his rage persisted, and he resisted her efforts. Seeing that Valeria's approach alone wasn't enough, Jack stepped in. He used his scythe to channel his energy and created a connection with Alaric, allowing the warrior to share his story. Through this emotional exchange, Jack discovered that Alaric's spirit was tied to an unresolved conflict with his brother, who had also died in the same battle. Valeria, initially skeptical, began to see the value in Jack's approach. She suggested performing a ritual to summon Alaric's brother's spirit, hoping that a reunion might bring both souls peace. Combining their methods, Jack and Valeria successfully brought forth the spirit of Alaric's brother. The reunion was filled with tears and reconciliation, allowing both spirits to finally find peace and move on. As they continued their mission, guiding more troubled souls, Jack and Valeria began to understand and respect each other's methods. They learned to blend their techniques, using traditional rituals to provide structure and Jack's empathetic connections to uncover hidden truths. Their combined efforts proved to be more effective than either approach alone. By the end of the mission, Jack and Valeria had successfully guided all the troubled souls in the lost fields. They returned to the council with a newfound respect for each other and a deeper understanding of how tradition and innovation could coexist and complement each other. Jack Harper and Valeria stood at the edge of the lost fields, a desolate region in the afterlife where the souls of those who had met violent and traumatic ends wandered aimlessly, consumed by their unresolved anguish. The air was thick with an eerie mist, and a palpable sense of sorrow hung over the landscape. This mission was their test, a chance to demonstrate that traditional and innovative methods could coexist and complement each other in guiding troubled souls. The first soul they encountered was a warrior named Alaric, who had died in a brutal battle and remained consumed by rage and sorrow. His spectral form was clad in ancient armor, and his eyes burned with an intense, otherworldly fire. Jack and Valeria approached cautiously, knowing that the warrior's spirit was volatile and powerful. Valeria took the lead, performing a ritual cleansing to calm Alaric's spirit. She chanted ancient incantations, her voice steady and authoritative, as she traced intricate symbols in the air with her scythe. A circle of light formed around Alaric, intended to soothe his restless energy. However, Alaric's rage was too intense, and he resisted her efforts, lashing out with spectral fury. "Leave me be," Alaric roared, his voice echoing through the mist. "I cannot rest until I avenge my death." Jack stepped forward, feeling the need to connect with Alaric on a deeper level. "Alaric," he called out, his voice calm and compassionate, "we are here to help you find peace. Tell us your story." Alaric's fiery eyes flickered with a mix of anger and sorrow. "I was betrayed in battle. My own brother struck me down in his quest for power. I cannot rest until I confront him and demand justice." Jack's heart ached for the warrior's torment. He used his scythe to channel his energy and create a connection with Alaric, allowing the warrior to share his memories and emotions. Jack saw flashes of the battle, the betrayal, and the deep bond of brotherhood that had been shattered by ambition and greed. Valeria, watching the exchange, began to see the value in Jack's approach. She stepped closer, her expression thoughtful. "Jack, perhaps we can summon Alaric's brother's spirit. A reunion might bring both of them peace." Jack nodded in agreement. "Let's try." Combining their methods, Jack and Valeria performed a ritual to summon the spirit of Alaric's brother. Valeria chanted the incantation while Jack focused on the emotional connection, using his scythe to amplify the energy. The air shimmered, and a second spectral form materialized, a young man with a look of deep regret in his eyes. "Alaric," the brother said, his voice trembling, "I am sorry. I was blinded by ambition and envy. I never meant for it to end this way." Alaric's rage softened, replaced by sorrow. "You betrayed me, brother. But perhaps we can find peace together." The brothers embraced, their spectral forms glowing with a soft, warm light. The intense emotions that had kept them bound to the lost fields began to dissipate. Jack and Valeria watched as the two spirits finally found reconciliation and moved on to the next stage of their journey. As they continued their mission, Jack and Valeria encountered more troubled souls, each with unique stories and needs. They faced the spirit of a young woman named Isabella, who had died in a tragic accident and was consumed by guilt for leaving her family behind. Valeria performed a ritual to calm Isabella's spirit, but the young woman remained inconsolable. "I can't leave my family," Isabella wept. "They need me." Jack approached her gently. "Isabella, your family loves you and they will always carry your memory in their hearts. What would you like to say to them?" Through their connection, Jack helped Isabella express her love and sorrow. He then used his live streaming platform to reach out to her descendants, who watched in real time as Isabella's spirit shared her final words. The family's messages of love and forgiveness reached her, and Isabella's guilt was lifted. Her spirit glowed with peace as she finally moved on. With each encounter, Jack and Valeria learned to blend their techniques, using traditional rituals to provide structure and Jack's empathetic connections to uncover the deeper emotions and stories that kept the souls tethered to their pain. Their combined efforts proved to be more effective than either approach alone. One of their most challenging encounters was with a group of souls who had died in a catastrophic event, a shipwreck that had claimed dozens of lives. The spirits were deeply traumatized, and their collective anguish created a powerful, chaotic energy. Jack and Valeria knew they needed to work together seamlessly to guide these souls. Valeria took the lead in performing a massive ritual cleansing, her incantations creating a protective barrier around the souls to prevent their energy from overwhelming them. Jack moved among the spirits, connecting with each one individually and helping them share their stories of fear, loss, and longing. One by one, the souls began to find peace. An elderly sailor, whose final thoughts had been of his family, expressed his love and hope for their future. A young mother, who had clung to her child during the disaster, found solace in knowing her child had survived. Jack and Valeria's combined efforts created a wave of healing energy that allowed the spirits to finally move on. Through this journey, Jack and Valeria began to understand and respect each other's methods. Valeria saw that Jack's innovative approach brought a new dimension to their work, while Jack recognized the importance of the traditional rituals that provided stability and structure. They realized that their rivalry had stemmed from a common desire to fulfill their duties as soul reapers and that their differences could be strengths rather than weaknesses. By the end of the mission, Jack and Valeria had successfully guided all the troubled souls in the lost fields. The sense of accomplishment and unity was palpable. They returned to the council with a newfound respect for each other and a deeper understanding of how tradition and innovation could coexist and complement each other. The council members listened as Jack and Valeria recounted their experiences and presented their findings. Thanatos, ever the wise leader, nodded in approval. You have demonstrated that by combining our strengths and embracing both tradition and innovation, we can better serve the souls we are sworn to guide. This mission is a testament to the potential for growth and harmony within our ranks. Chapter 28, Hell's Revolution. Jack Harper's innovative approaches and growing influence had started to stir significant changes within the underworld. His success in bridging the gap between the living and the dead, solving cold cases, and bringing peace to troubled souls inspired both reapers and souls to question the rigid structures and traditional methods that had governed the afterlife for centuries. This shift in mindset began to plant the seeds of a revolution that would soon shake the very foundations of the underworld. The transformation began subtly. Jack's live streams, which had initially been met with skepticism and even derision by traditionalists, started gaining a broader audience. Reapers who had once dismissed his methods began to see the tangible benefits of his work. Souls that had wandered aimlessly for decades were finding peace and resolution through his empathetic and innovative approaches. The ripple effect was undeniable. Recognizing the momentum for change, Jack decided it was time to take a more proactive stance. He used his platform to advocate for a more inclusive and adaptive approach to their duties. In a series of carefully crafted live streams and meetings, he proposed reforms to the council, suggesting ways to incorporate modern techniques while respecting ancient traditions. His ideas were bold. Jack suggested establishing communication channels between the living world and the underworld, creating support systems for troubled souls, and fostering increased collaboration among reapers. He also proposed new training programs that would blend traditional rituals with modern techniques, ensuring that future reapers could handle the evolving needs of the souls they were tasked to guide. Jack's proposals did not go unnoticed. Younger reapers, who had grown up in a more connected and dynamic world, were particularly receptive to his ideas. They saw the potential for a more harmonious and effective system, one that could better serve the needs of all souls. These reapers began to rally around Jack, forming a growing faction of supporters who believed in his vision. However, these proposals were met with fierce resistance from the traditionalists. Valeria, despite having worked with Jack on their joint mission, was among the most vocal critics. She feared that such changes would undermine the stability and sanctity of the underworld. In a heated council meeting, Valeria voiced her concerns. Jack, while your intentions may be noble, you're proposing to dismantle centuries of tradition. Our rituals and methods have stood the test of time. They are the foundation upon which the underworld operates. What you are suggesting could lead to chaos. Jack remained calm, understanding the gravity of her concerns. Valeria, I am not suggesting we abandon our traditions. I am advocating for evolution. We can honor our past while embracing the future. The living world has changed, and we must adapt to serve the souls more effectively. Thanatos, the head of the council and Jack's mentor, listened intently to both sides. His expression was thoughtful, his eyes reflecting the weight of the decision before them. Jack, your ideas are indeed revolutionary. But you must also understand the fear of losing our identity and the integrity of our work. How do you propose we integrate these changes without causing disruption? Jack took a deep breath, knowing that this was a pivotal moment. We start small, with pilot programs that allow us to test and refine these ideas. We involve reapers of all generations in the process, ensuring that the wisdom of the old and the innovation of the new are both honored. We create forums for open dialogue and feedback, allowing us to address concerns and make adjustments as needed. The room was filled with murmurs as the council members processed Jack's words. Some nodded in agreement, while others remained skeptical. The tension was palpable, a clear sign that the seeds of change were taking root, but not without resistance. Outside the formal council meetings, Jack continued to engage with his followers through his streams. He held virtual town halls where Reapers and Souls alike could voice their opinions and ask questions. These sessions were lively and passionate, reflecting the deep emotions that this proposed revolution had stirred. One evening, during a particularly intense town hall, a young Reaper named Lysandra spoke up. She had recently completed her training and had been following Jack's work closely. "Jack, your methods have shown us new possibilities. I've seen firsthand how integrating modern techniques can bring peace to souls more effectively. But how do we ensure that we don't lose our identity in the process?" Jack appreciated Lysandra's thoughtful question. "Lysandra, our identity as Reapers is rooted in our mission to guide souls and maintain balance. That mission does not change. What changes are the tools and methods we use to fulfill that mission. By blending the best of our traditions with new approaches, we can enhance our effectiveness while staying true to our core values." As the town hall continued, more Reapers and Souls voiced their support. An elderly soul named Samuel, who had found peace through one of Jack's live-streamed sessions, shared his experience. "Jack helped me reconnect with my family and find closure after decades of wandering. His methods may be new, but they are rooted in compassion and empathy, values that are timeless." These testimonials bolstered Jack's case, but they also highlighted the challenges ahead. The path to change was fraught with obstacles, not least of which was the deeply ingrained resistance to altering the status quo. Jack knew that he needed a strategic plan to navigate this complex landscape. Behind the scenes, Jack worked tirelessly to build alliances and gather support. He reached out to influential Reapers who were open to innovation, convincing them to advocate for his proposals within their own circles. He also sought the advice of souls who had found peace through his methods, using their stories to demonstrate the real-world impact of his work. The momentum for change continued to grow, but so did the opposition. Valeria and her supporters doubled down on their efforts to preserve the traditional ways. They held their own meetings and rallies, emphasizing the risks of deviating from established practices. One of the most pivotal moments came during a particularly contentious council meeting where Jack presented a comprehensive plan for restructuring the underworld's order. His proposal included new roles for Reapers, enhanced training programs, and a system for integrating insights from the living world. The meeting was marked by passionate arguments from both sides. Valeria, standing firm, addressed the council with conviction. "Jack's proposals are well-intentioned, but they are too radical. We risk losing the essence of who we are as Reapers. Our methods have guided souls for centuries. Change must come, but it must come slowly and with great caution." Jack responded, his voice steady and resolute. "Valeria, the world around us is changing rapidly. If we do not adapt, we risk becoming ineffective in our duties. We can respect our traditions while embracing necessary innovations. This is not about erasing the past, it is about building a stronger future." Thanatos listened intently, his expression revealing the weight of the decision before them. The council members were evenly split, their faces reflecting the deep divisions within their ranks. Finally, Thanatos stood to address the room. "We are at a crossroads. The decision we make today will shape the future of the underworld. Jack's proposals offer a vision of evolution and inclusivity. We must find a way to integrate these changes without losing our essence." The vote was called, and the tension in the room was palpable. Each council member cast their vote, and the tally revealed an even split. It was Thanatos' vote that would decide the outcome. With a sense of solemn responsibility, Thanatos cast his vote in favor of Jack's proposals. "We will proceed with Jack's plan, but we will do so carefully and thoughtfully. We will honor our traditions while embracing the innovations that can help us better serve the souls we guide." The decision marked a turning point in the history of the underworld. The seeds of change had taken root, and a new era of reform and transformation was set in motion. Jack's influence had sparked a revolution, one that would redefine the role of Reapers and strengthen the bond between the living and the dead. The council's decision to endorse Jack Harper's revolutionary proposals marked the beginning of a profound transformation within the underworld. However, the journey to implement these changes was fraught with challenges. The traditionalists, led by Valeria, remained vocal in their opposition, and the path to reform required careful navigation of the complex and often treacherous political landscape of the afterlife. As news of the council's decision spread, the underworld buzzed with excitement and apprehension. Jack's supporters, particularly the younger Reapers and those who had seen the benefits of his methods firsthand, were energized and ready to embrace the new vision. Yet, there was also significant resistance from those who feared that these changes would erode the foundations upon which their duties had been built. Recognizing the need for unity and collaboration, Jack set out to build bridges between the reformists and the traditionalists. He organized a series of workshops and discussions aimed at fostering understanding and cooperation. These sessions were designed to be inclusive, allowing Reapers from all generations to voice their concerns and contribute their ideas. The first workshop was held in the Grand Hall of the Reapers' headquarters, a space that had witnessed countless debates and decisions over the centuries. Jack stood before a diverse group of Reapers, his expression one of determination and hope. "Thank you all for being here," Jack began, his voice steady. "We are at a pivotal moment in the history of the underworld. The decision to embrace new methods and integrate them with our traditions is not just about change for the sake of change. It is about evolving to better serve the souls entrusted to our care." Valeria, who had reluctantly agreed to participate, stood among the attendees, her arms crossed and her expression skeptical. Jack knew that winning her over, or at least finding common ground, was crucial. "Tradition and innovation are not mutually exclusive," Jack continued. "By combining the wisdom of our ancestors with the insights and tools of the modern world, we can enhance our ability to guide souls and maintain balance. I believe that by working together, we can create a stronger, more compassionate underworld." The discussion that followed was intense but productive. Reapers shared their experiences and concerns, highlighting both the strengths of the traditional methods and the potential benefits of Jack's innovations. Valeria raised several points about the risks of public exposure and the importance of maintaining the sacred nature of their work. Jack listened attentively, addressing each concern with respect and thoughtfulness. He emphasized the importance of maintaining the core values of their duties while being open to new approaches that could enhance their effectiveness. His ability to articulate a vision that honored the past while embracing the future began to win over some of the skeptics. The workshops continued over the following weeks, with more Reapers participating and contributing their perspectives. Slowly, the initial resistance began to soften, and a tentative sense of cooperation emerged. Jack's efforts to foster dialogue and build consensus were paying off. One of the most significant breakthroughs came during a session focused on the integration of new training programs. Jack proposed a curriculum that combined traditional rituals with modern techniques, ensuring that new Reapers were equipped to handle the evolving needs of the souls they guided. Valeria, who had been silent for much of the session, finally spoke up. "Jack, I see the potential in your proposal, but I worry that we may lose the depth and significance of our rituals. How do we ensure that the new methods do not overshadow the traditions that define us?" Jack appreciated her question, recognizing the genuine concern behind it. "Valeria, I believe that the rituals and traditions we uphold are the heart of our duties. The new methods are meant to complement, not replace, those traditions. By integrating them thoughtfully, we can preserve the depth and significance of our rituals while enhancing our ability to connect with and guide souls." Valeria nodded slowly, her expression thoughtful. "I see your point. It will be a delicate balance, but if we are mindful and intentional, we can achieve it." This moment of understanding marked a turning point in the relationship between Jack and Valeria. While they still had differences, there was now a foundation of mutual respect and a willingness to collaborate for the greater good. As the months passed, the reforms began to take shape. The new training programs were implemented, and Jack's methods were incorporated into the daily practices of the Reapers. Communication channels with the living world were established, allowing for more seamless interactions and support for troubled souls. The integration of these new practices brought about tangible improvements in the effectiveness of their work. One of the most impactful changes was the creation of a support network for troubled souls. This network provided resources and guidance to souls struggling with unresolved issues, helping them find peace more quickly and effectively. Jack's live streams continued to play a crucial role, offering a platform for souls to share their stories and receive the support they needed. The positive outcomes of these changes were undeniable. Souls that had been lost for decades found resolution and peace. Reapers reported greater satisfaction in their work, and the overall harmony of the underworld improved. The integration of modern techniques with traditional practices had created a more dynamic and responsive system, better equipped to meet the needs of all souls. However, the journey was not without its challenges. The traditionalists continued to voice their concerns, and there were moments of tension and conflict. Jack navigated these challenges with patience and diplomacy, always seeking to build bridges and find common ground. One particularly challenging moment came when a group of traditionalists staged a protest, demanding a return to the old ways. They feared that the rapid changes were undermining the sanctity of their work and called for a halt to the reforms. Jack addressed the protesters directly, his voice calm but firm. "I understand your concerns. Change is difficult, and it is natural to feel apprehensive. But we must remember that our primary duty is to the souls we guide. The changes we are making are not about abandoning our traditions but about enhancing our ability to serve. I ask you to give these reforms a chance and to see the positive impact they are having." Thanatos, who had been observing the situation closely, stepped forward to lend his support. "Jack is right. We must adapt to the changing needs of the souls we serve while maintaining the core values that define us. Let us move forward with a spirit of unity and cooperation." The protest gradually subsided, and the reforms continued. Over time, the results spoke for themselves. The underworld became a place of greater harmony and compassion, where souls could find peace and Reapers could fulfill their duties with greater effectiveness. As the revolution took root, Jack reflected on the journey that had brought them to this point. He had faced significant challenges and resistance, but his unwavering commitment to his vision had ultimately prevailed. The underworld was now a place of dynamic evolution, where tradition and innovation coexisted harmoniously. Chapter 29. The Ultimate Stream. The underworld buzzed with anticipation as Jack Harper announced his most daring venture yet, the Ultimate Stream. Having already revolutionized the afterlife with his progressive reforms and unprecedented connection to the living world, Jack now aimed to delve deeper into the mysteries of the afterlife than anyone had before. His goal was to uncover ancient secrets and hidden truths that had been long forgotten or deliberately obscured, shedding light on the origins of the afterlife and the true nature of the soul reapers. Jack spent weeks meticulously preparing for this monumental event. He understood the risks involved, but his resolve was unshakable. This stream would be more than just a broadcast. It would be a journey into the heart of the unknown, a quest to unravel the mysteries that had eluded even the most knowledgeable reapers. The preparation phase involved extensive research and planning. Jack consulted ancient texts, many of which had not been touched in centuries, seeking clues about the hidden corners of the afterlife. He spent countless hours in the grand library of the Reapers' headquarters, poring over manuscripts that detailed the origins of their order and the structure of the underworld. Alara, the wise librarian who had guided Jack through many challenges, was an invaluable ally during this phase. Her knowledge of the ancient texts and her ability to interpret their cryptic language provided Jack with the insights he needed. Jack, these texts speak of a place called the Veil of Eternity, Alara explained one evening, her finger tracing the faded ink of an ancient manuscript. It is said to be a nexus where the boundaries between realms are thin, where one can glimpse the true nature of existence. But it's also described as a place of great danger, where few have dared to venture. Jack's interest was piqued. The Veil of Eternity. It sounds like exactly the kind of place we need to explore. What else do the texts say? Alara continued, her voice filled with reverence. The veil is guarded by ancient spirits, and only those deemed worthy can pass through. It's said that the journey to the veil is as much a test of one's spirit as it is a physical journey. You'll need a team you can trust, Jack. This isn't something you can do alone. Jack nodded, understanding the gravity of the task ahead. He began to assemble a team of trusted allies, individuals who had proven themselves in the face of danger and who shared his vision for uncovering the truth. Valeria, who had become a reluctant but invaluable partner, was among the first he approached. Despite their initial differences, Valeria had come to respect Jack's dedication and innovation, and she agreed to join the expedition. Jack, this is a bold undertaking, Valeria said, her eyes reflecting a mix of caution and determination. But if anyone can succeed, it's you. We'll need to prepare thoroughly and ensure we're ready for whatever we might encounter. Alara, too, was an essential part of the team. Her deep knowledge of ancient lore and her ability to interpret the arcane symbols and texts would be crucial in navigating the challenges they would face. Other members included Lysandra, a young reaper who had shown great promise and had become a staunch supporter of Jack's methods, and Marcus, a seasoned warrior whose skills in combat would provide much-needed protection. The announcement of the Ultimate Stream sent shockwaves through both the living world and the afterlife. Jack's followers, eagerly awaiting the broadcast, were abuzz with excitement and speculation about what might be revealed. The stream promised to explore the origins of the afterlife, the nature of the soul, and the true purpose of the Reapers, topics that had always been shrouded in mystery. Jack used his platform to build anticipation and prepare his audience for the journey ahead. He shared snippets of the ancient texts, teased the locations they would visit, and emphasized the importance of this undertaking. His charisma and sincerity captivated his followers, who were eager to join him on this unprecedented exploration. Today, we embark on a journey to uncover the deepest truths of the afterlife, Jack announced in a promotional stream, his voice resonating with excitement and solemnity. What we find may change our understanding of everything we know. Join us as we explore the mysteries that lie hidden in the shadows. As the day of the stream approached, Jack and his team finalized their preparations. They gathered the necessary equipment, including special relics and artifacts that Alara had identified as potentially useful in their quest. They also prepared mentally and spiritually, understanding that this journey would test not only their physical abilities but also their resolve and their connection to the very essence of their roles as Reapers. The first location on their journey was an ancient temple, long abandoned and overgrown with spectral vines. This temple, known in the ancient texts as the Sanctuary of Whispers, was believed to hold the key to understanding the origins of the afterlife and the creation of the Soul Reapers. It was a place steeped in history and hidden power, where the boundary between the living and the dead was thin. As they approached the temple, the air grew cooler, and an eerie stillness enveloped the group. The temple's towering stone columns were covered in intricate carvings, depicting scenes of ancient rituals and the passage of souls. The entrance was flanked by statues of long-forgotten deities, their eyes seeming to watch the intruders with silent judgment. Jack began the stream, his voice hushed in reverence for the ancient site. We stand before the Sanctuary of Whispers, a place of great historical significance. Inside, we hope to uncover the secrets of our origins and the true purpose of our duties as reapers. Stay with us as we venture into the unknown. With Alara leading the way, they entered the temple, their footsteps echoing through the vast, empty halls. The interior was dimly lit by the faint glow of ethereal light, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Alara translated the inscriptions they found, revealing that the Reapers were not just guides for souls but also guardians of a delicate balance between realms. This knowledge shed new light on their purpose and responsibilities, offering a profound understanding of their roles. As they ventured deeper into the temple, they encountered the spirit of an ancient Reaper named Thalos. Thalos had served in the earliest days of their order and had been one of the original guardians tasked with maintaining the balance. His spectral form was imposing, his eyes glowing with the wisdom of ages. "Why have you come here?" Thalos's voice echoed through the temple, filled with a mix of curiosity and authority. Jack stepped forward, his expression respectful. "We seek to uncover the truths that have been hidden for millennia. We wish to understand our origins and our true purpose, so that we may better serve the souls entrusted to us." Thalos studied Jack and his team for a moment before nodding. "Very well. But know this. The path you seek is fraught with danger and challenges. Only those with the strength and purity of spirit can uncover the truths you desire." The ancient Reaper shared forgotten wisdom about the early days of their order, describing a time when the afterlife was chaotic and fragmented. He spoke of the creation of the Soul Reapers, formed to bring order and harmony to the realms. This history had been lost over the centuries, and its rediscovery provided a powerful sense of identity and purpose for the current generation of Reapers. The team continued their journey, each discovery deepening their understanding and their resolve. They encountered more spirits and uncovered more artifacts, each piece adding to the complex tapestry of their history. The knowledge they gained was not just academic, it was deeply personal, transforming their perception of their roles and their responsibilities. As they prepared to leave the temple and head to the next location, Jack addressed his audience once more. "We have uncovered incredible truths here at the Sanctuary of Whispers. These revelations are just the beginning. Our journey continues, and with each step, we draw closer to understanding the true nature of the afterlife and our place within it. Stay with us as we venture further into the unknown." Jack Harper and his team had made significant strides in their journey to uncover the hidden truths of the afterlife. The revelations they had uncovered at the Sanctuary of Whispers were only the beginning. As they ventured further into the uncharted territories of the underworld, the anticipation among Jack's followers grew. The promise of deeper insights into the nature of existence and the true role of the Reapers kept them glued to their screens. Their next destination was an ancient site known as the Hall of Echoes. According to the texts, this place held the remnants of the earliest councils of the afterlife, where the foundational laws governing the realms were established. It was said that the Hall of Echoes could reveal the past in ways that were both enlightening and terrifying, echoing the voices of the ancients and the decisions that shaped their world. The journey to the Hall of Echoes was treacherous. The landscape became increasingly desolate and eerie, the air heavy with the weight of forgotten ages. The path was lined with the spectral remnants of ancient battles, spirits lingering in silent testimony to the conflicts that had once raged. As they approached the hall, Jack began the stream, his voice filled with a mix of excitement and solemnity. "We are now entering the Hall of Echoes, a place where the very foundations of our existence were debated and decided. Here, we hope to uncover the truths that have shaped the afterlife and our roles as Reapers. Stay with us as we delve into the echoes of the past." The Hall of Echoes was a vast, cavernous space, its walls lined with inscriptions and carvings that depicted scenes of ancient councils and the deliberations that had taken place. The hall seemed to hum with energy, a constant, low reverberation that echoed the voices of those who had once walked these halls. Alara led the way, her eyes scanning the inscriptions for clues. "These walls are a record of the earliest days of the afterlife," she explained, her voice barely above a whisper. "They tell the story of how our world was formed, the creation of the Soul Reapers, and the laws that were established to maintain balance." As they moved deeper into the hall, they encountered a series of alcoves, each containing a glowing orb. Alara recognized these as memory orbs, devices used by the ancients to preserve their most important deliberations and decisions. Jack approached one of the orbs, feeling a powerful pull of curiosity. He reached out and touched it, and instantly, his mind was flooded with images and sounds. He saw the first council of the afterlife, a gathering of powerful spirits who debated the creation of the Reapers and the laws that would govern their actions. The images were vivid and immersive. Jack saw a spirit who seemed to be the leader of the council, a figure of immense authority and wisdom. "The balance of the realms is fragile," the spirit intoned. "We must create guardians who can guide the souls and maintain harmony. They will be known as the Soul Reapers." The deliberations continued, with voices raised in debate and consensus slowly forming. The council discussed the responsibilities of the Reapers, the importance of compassion and justice, and the need for a balance between intervention and non-interference. As the vision faded, Jack felt a profound sense of awe and responsibility. The creation of the Reapers had been a momentous decision, one that had set the course for the afterlife. Sharing these revelations with his audience, Jack could see the impact it was having. The chat was filled with messages of amazement and reflection, his followers deeply moved by the insight into their shared history. Continuing their exploration, the team discovered more memory orbs, each revealing a different aspect of the ancient councils. They learned about the early conflicts between different factions of spirits, the establishment of the laws that governed the afterlife, and the role of the Reapers in mediating these conflicts and maintaining order. One particularly revealing orb showed the moment when the first Reapers were chosen. Spirits of great virtue and strength were selected, their essence transformed to enable them to guide souls and uphold the laws of the afterlife. This process was both awe-inspiring and solemn, highlighting the immense responsibility that came with the role. As they delved deeper into the Hall of Echoes, they encountered the spirit of one of the first Reapers, a figure named Lysander. His spectral form was imposing, his eyes glowing with a deep, ancient wisdom. "Why have you come here?" Lysander's voice echoed through the hall, filled with both curiosity and authority. Jack stepped forward, his expression respectful. "We seek to uncover the truths that have been hidden for millennia. We wish to understand our origins and our true purpose, so that we may better serve the souls entrusted to us." Lysander studied Jack and his team for a moment before nodding. "Very well. The path you seek is fraught with danger and challenges. Only those with the strength and purity of spirit can uncover the truths you desire." Lysander shared forgotten wisdom about the early days of their order, describing a time when the afterlife was chaotic and fragmented. He spoke of the creation of the Soul Reapers, formed to bring order and harmony to the realms. This history had been lost over the centuries, and its rediscovery provided a powerful sense of identity and purpose for the current generation of Reapers. With each revelation, the team felt their understanding deepening. They uncovered the existence of a secret council of ancient souls who had overseen the afterlife's creation and evolution. This council had wielded immense power, shaping the afterlife according to their vision. Their decisions had far-reaching consequences, influencing the experiences of every soul that passed through. The most startling revelation came when they reached a place known as the Veil of Eternity. Here, they discovered that the afterlife was part of a larger cosmic cycle, interconnected with the realms of the living and the divine. This cycle was governed by principles that transcended individual lives, emphasizing the interconnectedness of all existence. The Veil of Eternity revealed that every action in the afterlife resonated throughout the cosmos, highlighting the immense responsibility of the Reapers. Standing before the veil, Jack felt a profound sense of wonder and responsibility. The veil was a shimmering barrier, pulsing with energy and light. Through it, he could glimpse other realms, each connected by threads of fate and destiny. It was a humbling reminder of the vastness of existence and the delicate balance that the Reapers were tasked with maintaining. As Jack shared these discoveries with his audience, the reactions were overwhelming. His followers were captivated by the depth and significance of the revelations, realizing that their understanding of life, death, and the afterlife was part of a much grander tapestry. The stream sparked discussions and reflections across both realms, inspiring a deeper sense of purpose and connection. The journey through the Hall of Echoes had not only uncovered hidden truths but had also reaffirmed the importance of the Reaper's duties. Jack and his team emerged from the hall with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. They had glimpsed the very foundations of their existence, and this knowledge would guide them in their future endeavors. As the stream came to a close, Jack addressed his audience, his voice filled with gratitude and hope. "We have uncovered incredible truths today, and I thank you all for joining us on this journey. The revelations we have shared are just the beginning. There is still much to learn, and together, we will continue to explore and discover the mysteries of the afterlife." Chapter 30. Eternal Wanderer. Jack Harper stood at the edge of a vast, shimmering lake, its surface reflecting the ethereal glow of the underworld's twilight. This lake, known as the Mirror of Souls, was said to show the true nature of anyone who gazed into its depths. Jack had come here not just to see his own reflection but to contemplate the journey that had brought him to this moment. As he looked into the water, he saw not only his own face but the faces of countless souls he had helped over the years. Each face was a story, a life he had touched, a soul he had guided to peace. The Mirror of Souls reminded Jack of the profound impact his work had had on the afterlife. It was a humbling realization, one that filled him with a deep sense of gratitude and purpose. Jack had embraced his role as a soul reaper with dedication and passion, but it was his journey as an eternal wanderer that truly defined him. Traveling through the farthest reaches of the underworld, he encountered mysteries and challenges that tested his skills and deepened his understanding of the realms he served. His reputation as a compassionate and wise reaper had spread, and souls sought him out for guidance and resolution. One of Jack's first destinations was the Forest of Echoes, a dense woodland where the whispers of lost souls filled the air. The forest was both beautiful and haunting, with trees that seemed to reach endlessly upward and a perpetual mist that lent an air of mystery to the surroundings. It was said that the forest held the echoes of souls who had unfinished business, their whispers creating a symphony of sorrow and longing. As Jack ventured deeper into the forest, he listened intently to the whispers, trying to discern their meanings. Each whisper was a fragment of a story, a piece of a puzzle that needed to be solved. He came across a clearing where the whispers were particularly strong, and he knew he had found the heart of the forest's mystery. In the center of the clearing stood a massive, ancient tree, its branches stretching wide and its trunk covered in intricate carvings. Jack approached the tree and placed his hand on its rough bark. Immediately, he felt a surge of energy, and the whispers grew louder, coalescing into a single, coherent voice. "Help us," the voice pleaded. "We are trapped in the echoes of our past, unable to move on. We need your guidance." Jack closed his eyes, focusing on the connection he had established with the souls. "I am here to help," he said softly. "Tell me your stories, and together we will find a way to set you free." The souls began to share their tales, each one a poignant narrative of love, loss, regret, and hope. There was the story of a young woman named Alara, who had died tragically and was unable to leave her beloved behind. Her whispers spoke of her longing to see him one last time, to tell him that she was at peace. There was also the story of a warrior named Kale, who had fallen in battle and could not rest until he knew his family was safe. His whispers were filled with a fierce protectiveness and a desire to fulfill his duty even in death. Jack listened to each story with compassion and empathy, understanding that these souls needed closure to move on. He used his scythe to channel his energy, creating a connection between the souls and their loved ones in the living world. Through this connection, he conveyed messages of love and reassurance, helping the souls find the peace they had been seeking. As each soul found resolution, the whispers in the forest began to fade, replaced by a serene silence. The once haunted forest now felt peaceful, and the energy that had been trapped there was released, allowing the souls to move on to their next journey. Jack stood in the clearing, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. The Forest of Echoes had been a place of sorrow, but through his efforts, it had become a place of peace. This was the essence of his work as a soul reaper and an eternal wanderer, transforming places of pain into sanctuaries of tranquility. His journey continued, taking him to the crystal caves, a labyrinthine network of caverns filled with glowing crystals that resonated with the emotions of the souls who had passed through. The crystals were said to hold the memories of the souls, and those who ventured into the caves could experience these memories as if they were their own. The crystal caves were both beautiful and disorienting, with their shifting lights and echoes of past lives. Jack moved carefully through the caverns, guided by the subtle vibrations of the crystals. He knew that the caves held many secrets, and he was determined to uncover them. In one of the deeper chambers, Jack encountered a crystal that pulsed with an intense, almost overwhelming energy. As he touched the crystal, he was enveloped in a vision of a great tragedy, a city destroyed by a cataclysmic event, its inhabitants left in despair. The vision was vivid and heartbreaking, and Jack felt the weight of the sorrow that had been trapped in the crystal for centuries. He knew that this memory needed to be released, and the souls connected to it needed to find peace. Using his scythe, Jack channeled his energy into the crystal, guiding the trapped souls through their memories and helping them find closure. The process was emotionally taxing, but Jack's determination never wavered. He felt the gratitude of the souls as they finally moved on, their memories no longer a source of pain but a part of the eternal tapestry of the afterlife. Jack's travels also took him to the plains of reflection, a vast expanse where souls went to contemplate their lives and the lessons they had learned. The plains were serene, with rolling hills and a sky that shifted through a spectrum of colors. Here, Jack met souls who were at peace but sought deeper understanding and enlightenment. He held discussions with these souls, sharing his own insights and learning from their experiences. The plains of reflection became a place of mutual growth, where Jack found solace in the wisdom of those he guided. These interactions enriched his own understanding of the afterlife, reinforcing his commitment to his role. Throughout his journey, Jack continued to share his experiences with his followers through his live streams. These broadcasts had evolved from simply uncovering hidden truths to sharing the everyday experiences and lessons of a soul reaper. His followers, both living and dead, found inspiration in his journeys and the stories of the souls he helped. One of Jack's most memorable streams was when he revisited the Sanctuary of Whispers. Standing before the ancient temple, he reflected on how far he had come and the profound changes he had witnessed. His followers were deeply moved by his reflections, and the stream became a moment of collective introspection and gratitude. As Jack continued his journey as an eternal wanderer, he found peace in the knowledge that he was making a difference. He had embraced his role with dedication and compassion, transforming the underworld and leaving an enduring legacy. Each step he took, each soul he guided, added to the rich tapestry of the afterlife. Jack Harper's journey was far from over. The mysteries of the underworld were vast, and there were always more souls in need of guidance. As he traveled through the realms, solving mysteries and uncovering hidden truths, Jack knew that his work was never done. But in every moment, he found fulfillment and purpose, knowing that he was part of something greater, a journey that transcended life and death, connecting all souls in the eternal cycle of existence. The sun, or whatever mystical light source in the underworld that served as such, cast a gentle glow over the rolling hills of the plains of reflection. Jack Harper stood on a hilltop, looking out over the vast expanse. The air was filled with a serene stillness, and the sky above shifted through a spectrum of calming colors, soft blues, warm oranges, and deep purples. Here, among the contemplative souls, Jack found a moment of peace and reflection. The journey to the plains of reflection had been long and arduous, but Jack embraced every challenge, knowing that each step he took was another chapter in his ongoing story. He had become an eternal wanderer, traveling through the underworld to solve mysteries and guide souls with wisdom and compassion. His reputation as a respected and wise soul reaper had spread far and wide, and souls from all corners of the afterlife sought him out for guidance. As Jack stood there, a soft breeze carrying whispers of the past and promises of the future, he felt a presence behind him. Turning, he saw Valeria approaching, her expression both thoughtful and content. Over the years, she had become not just an ally, but a true friend. Their initial rivalry had transformed into a partnership founded on mutual respect and shared purpose. "Jack," Valeria said, her voice carrying a note of admiration. "I see you've found another place of reflection. This journey has taken us to some incredible places, hasn't it?" Jack nodded, a smile touching his lips. "It has, and there's still so much to explore. Every soul, every place, holds a story waiting to be uncovered." Valeria joined him at the hilltop, looking out over the plains. "You've created something extraordinary here, Jack. The changes you've brought to the underworld, the lives you've touched, it's more than anyone could have imagined." Jack remained silent, his thoughts drifting to the countless souls he had guided. Each one had left an indelible mark on his journey, and he felt a deep sense of fulfillment knowing he had made a difference. As they stood together, a group of young reapers approached. They were the latest graduates from the Academy of Eternal Wisdom, an institution Jack had helped establish to train future generations. These young reapers, filled with enthusiasm and dedication, looked up to Jack as a mentor and guide. One of them, a bright-eyed reaper named Lysandra, stepped forward. "Master Jack, we've come to seek your wisdom. We're about to embark on our first solo missions, and we want to make sure we're prepared." Jack turned to them, his eyes reflecting a blend of pride and responsibility. "Lysandra, and all of you, remember that being a reaper is not just about guiding souls. It's about understanding them. Listen to their stories, feel their emotions, and help them find peace. Your journey will shape you as much as you shape the souls you guide." The young reapers nodded, absorbing his words with reverence. Jack saw in their eyes the same eagerness and determination he had felt when he first began his journey. It was a reminder of the cycle of learning and growth that defined their existence. After the young reapers left to continue their preparations, Jack and Valeria continued their walk through the plains. They passed by souls who were deep in contemplation, each one finding their own path to understanding and peace. Some of these souls reached out to Jack, sharing their gratitude for the guidance he had provided. In one corner of the plains, Jack saw a familiar figure, Alara, the wise librarian who had been an invaluable ally throughout his journey. She was surrounded by a group of souls, sharing her vast knowledge and insights with them. Jack approached, feeling a deep sense of appreciation for her unwavering support. "Alara," Jack greeted, his voice warm. "It's good to see you." Alara looked up, her eyes twinkling with wisdom. "Jack, my dear friend. The journey never truly ends, does it?" Jack shook his head. "No, it doesn't, and I wouldn't have it any other way." Alara smiled. "You've done remarkable work, Jack. The underworld is a better place because of you. And there's still so much more to discover." As they talked, the landscape around them seemed to shimmer with possibilities. Jack knew that his journey was far from over. There were still mysteries to uncover, souls to guide, and lessons to learn. The path ahead was endless, but it was a path he was ready to walk with purpose and dedication. The evening light began to fade, casting long shadows over the plains. Jack and Valeria found a quiet spot to sit and reflect on their journey. The tranquility of the moment was a testament to the peace they had worked so hard to bring to the underworld. Valeria turned to Jack, her eyes filled with a sense of camaraderie. "Jack, do you ever wonder what lies beyond? What the ultimate truth is?" Jack considered her question, looking up at the ever-changing sky. "I do wonder, Valeria. But I've come to realize that the journey itself is just as important as the destination. Every soul we guide, every mystery we solve, brings us closer to understanding the greater tapestry of existence." They sat in silence for a while, watching as the sky shifted through its colors. The peace of the plains was a reflection of the harmony they had brought to the underworld. As the night descended, Jack stood up, feeling the call of the journey ahead. "There's still so much to do, Valeria. Shall we continue our wanderings?" Valeria smiled, standing up beside him. "Yes, let's. There are always more souls to guide and more truths to uncover." Together, they walked into the twilight, their figures gradually fading into the horizon. The light of the underworld dimmed around them, but their presence remained a beacon of hope and wisdom for all who knew them. Jack Harper's journey as an eternal wanderer was far from over. The mysteries of the underworld were vast, and there were always more souls in need of guidance. As he traveled through the realms, solving mysteries and uncovering hidden truths, Jack knew that his work was never done. But in every moment, he found fulfillment and purpose, knowing that he was part of something greater, a journey that transcended life and death, connecting all souls in the eternal cycle of existence. The camera panned out, showing the vast, mysterious underworld stretching endlessly in all directions, filled with shadows, light, and the whispers of countless souls. The image faded to black, leaving the audience with a sense of wonder and anticipation for the adventures that lay ahead.